Welcome back to Ask Chris, our series where we dive into what's really happening in the world of AI and business transformation. Today, we're talking about a subject that comes up again and again. Is AI really delivering on its promise? To talk about this today, I've got with me Paul Foster, our global head of product at sa.global. Paul regularly speaks with analysts from Gartner, Forrester, and most of our prospects and clients. And I know you've heard some strong opinions lately. Hi there, Paul, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Chris. Good to be here. Yes, I have heard some strong opinions lately. As you said, I regularly talk with analysts and meet people in key verticals that we're working in. And the feeling coming back is there's a general feeling of just tiredness with dealing with a growing fatigue is being described as that. Really, there's lots of talk of AI, but it's very difficult to exactly isolate the amount of value that's being delivered by all of this AI. And that's a growing feeling that's coming through, particularly, as I said, when I've spoken to the industry analysts, that is their current view of what's going on.
Oh, that's really interesting that you're getting this feedback from the analysts and generally from other people you're talking to. Do you get a sense of what's behind this sense of fatigue?
Yeah, it's a couple of things really. One, what these analysts are referring to is agent washing, where lots and lots of software providers are bringing up their previous products, their bots, and reintroducing them or rescoping them as agents. And it's not true AI. So it's just giving the same performance and the same benefits that were previously there. And secondly, the world that we tend to look at tends to be obsessed with cost saving or process improvements. And that's fine in one part, but I've always felt through my career it's difficult to constantly prove the costs are being saved because one cost gets replaced by another one. So it's very difficult to demonstrate that you've saved X across the implementation of a project. But what is easier to demonstrate is that you've increased revenue or you've increased cash. So it's just expanding that lens and just not focus on what would be the easy target of trying to change costs.
So when we start these projects and implementations, for example, you're saying it's the lens itself, how we define success, it is part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's really defining what your objectives and your outcomes really want to be. Is it just improving a process? Is it just improving the time taken, as we say, to do something? Or are you really looking to make transformational changes to your organization in terms of margin and cash? And I think that's really where the lens should be looking far more on. Not saying that we shouldn't be looking at changing processes and improving them and putting some processes automated, but really there is an end to that. You will reach the bottom eventually. What you need to then keep looking at is how the business moves forwards transformationally to improve its margin and its cash position.
And I've seen some of your other talks and presentations, Paul, and you've made a point in a few of your talks talking about that 90 minutes saved doesn't mean much unless it's used differently. Can you just give an outline of that in today's podcast?
Yeah, I will. So it's great saving the 90 minutes, but as we say, what is that person going to do with that 90 minutes? Are they going to be more effective and then therefore generate more revenue or more cash, more margin for the business? And let's take, for instance, an example within our product range on our platform. So if we look at our product, which is Empower Invoice Collaboration, we've actually used AI there to provide value. So it's working downstream in an invoicing process and working on what we call the routine in your daily working life, checking prices, checking resources, checking comments that go out to clients that they may not like, and intercepting all of that and making all of that clean and good to move forward. So that what's really then involved in pushing an invoice through the business is purely, hopefully, commercial decisions. Are you going to give a discount? Is this request for a change of a product? Those sorts of things which are commercially viable and responsible to do for a client and for an invoice. And AI has added value by removing all of that wasted time that people need to look through documents to get them into the state that they have to be there. So again, it's producing a value. So the invoices go out quicker, the cash will be in quicker, the bank balance will be better, the DSO figures will be better. So it's all language of value you can demonstrate to a client and in particular to a CFO, the benefit and value of using AI.
Thanks for that, Paul. So the measure shouldn't be how much time or cost we save, but what we did with that time or savings. And you've given a really good example of invoice collaboration, how we're trying to save users time and how much and what people are doing with that time and savings. So would you say that ROI isn't an afterthought, it's more of a design principle?
Absolutely, it's got to be the design principle. Otherwise, you're just implementing AI for AI's sake, or you're implementing any software for just for the sake of ticking a box in the technology requirements. So, if you focus on ROI, what you're trying to achieve from this, have some values that you're looking for, some KPIs that would make an impact in a business, gross margin, cash, WIP, DSO, and have those at the forefront. What's the ROI? What do I want to achieve from this? And that's how you will get the true benefit and actually deliver and visibly see the value that the AI is delivering to you, rather than just in the background, you're improving some process which is taking 10 minutes quicker than it took previously. You can actually demonstrate the value of what you have designed and built and implemented.
It's refreshing to hear that kind of grounded perspective. So thanks for that, Paul. Before we wrap up, though, what would you suggest one takeaway for leaders from listening to the podcast today?
I would say the takeaway is as previously stated, don't implement AI for AI's sake. Have a thought about what you really want to impact on your business. What are the key KPIs that you are looking at constantly in the business, and how you can demonstrate value moving forward. So if your concern is around WIP, then we can improve WIP by moving invoices through quicker. The impact of invoices through quicker. Your cash improves. The invoice cash is your DSO, days improve. So there's a link between all of those KPIs with the correct application and use of the power of AI, rather than just implementing AI to improve one part of a process, which may save you time, but as a business, you cannot see the actual financial impact coming through to the bottom line, to the balance sheet, and to all the stakeholders that wish to have an interest in the business.
Oh, well, that's been great. Thanks for your insight, Paul.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
And to our listeners, remember, AI is only as valuable as the business outcome it creates. That's it for this episode of Ask Chris. See you next time.